fact that we're going to talk about Clio today, but whether you are a Clio person, a Practice Panther user, a Action Step, or whatever practice management system you are using or are not using, this is just to give you guys some ideas of how you can really further the investment that you're making into your technology. I mean, if you're paying a monthly fee for your practice management software, you might as well use it and use more out of it. And I was actually going to create a blog post not too long ago about, okay, how can you use your practice management as that case management system? I'm asked all the time of, well, I'm using Clio, but I really need a case management system. I'm like, well, why don't you use Clio as your case management system? And it's really taking that power of what's being made available to you and really use it. So that's really what I'm going to try and do today. Again, focused on Clio, but it can be applicable across the board for whatever program that you're using. Or as I said, if you're not using one, it gives you an idea of how you can leverage that kind of technology. So we're going to talk about some automations. One thing, let's see, I need to not use that screen. So hang on a second. Figure out how to page down on, there we go. All right, I'm gonna turn off my video so we can share screen so you don't see the side of my head, but I love this. How are we getting data into the cloud? And that's certainly something that I still talk with folks about. Are you sure that this is something that we really want to do? And it really is truly what we want to do. We want to get data into the cloud and really start using it. A couple things that we're going to look at today is our agenda. We're going to talk a little bit more about custom fields in Clio and how we can utilize those in and really make that automation between not only Clio Manage but also Clio Grow. So we'll talk about how we can sync those two together and really utilize some of the power of those two programs. We're also going to talk about calendaring. I'm amazed at folks that are using Clio that are not using these standard features, but then there's some more advanced features like with court rules that are there that you may or may not use. Then we're going to talk about Clio's document assembly and actually show you how the document assembly process can work within Clio. And again, if it's something that if you're not using, you really should be taking advantage of. Then we'll talk about the task management side of Clio, which can be used within Clio and then added to with external programs like legal boards. And then finally, we'll show you an example of Clio and Zapier and how you can utilize Zapier to make you happier, as Catherine said, and show you how you can use the programs that you have and have them play well together. All right, with that, all right, we're going to start off with custom fields. So I am going to get out of my Clio or out of my PowerPoint. If I can get a thumbs up from somebody, if you guys can see my Clio, I just want to make sure that okay, great. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. All right, so we'll talk about Clio Manage for a second, and this is my demo account. So you'll see that it has some data in it and some data that's not in it. I'm going to talk first about custom fields. And the custom fields in Clio are really a way to be able to extend the amount of data that you can gather within Clio. I know some folks are using custom fields and then some people are not, but I have clients that have thousands of custom fields within Clio, because not only do they want to capture information that they can use later, but they also want to be able to extend it and extend their reach into Clio Grow and use that same information in Clio Grow. Clio Grow is that CRM, that customer relation management system that is associated with Clio. And just want to talk about how you can use these custom fields to start. Underneath the settings menu in Clio, again, this is just Clio related, but most practice management systems will have the same functionality. There's an option under settings for custom fields, and this is where you can actually come and actually create your custom fields, where you have the ability to add in whatever custom fields that you want. If you think about custom fields in a way of being able to capture data that you need to use later on. What I did earlier today was I created a bunch of custom fields for children. If you're a divorce attorney and you need to capture data from a client and you need to know how old are these children and what can I quickly and easily, how can I quickly and easily find that information? Clio makes it very easy to be able to add custom fields. You have matter custom fields and then contact custom fields. My recommendation when you're creating custom fields, stick with matter, because most of that information is gonna stay within the matter, even though it may be related to the contact. But if you're using Clio in a divorce or in an estate planning environment, that kind of data is related to the matter. Clio makes it very easy to add custom fields, give it a name, and then choose the type of field that you want. Quick tip is to the text one line is a quick and easy way to be able to create custom fields. Yes, you can use email address. Yes, you can use date. But if you're not quite sure which one to use the text one line, and that will put a one line of information in your custom fields, or the multi-line if you're looking for a description of, if you're a PI attorney using Clio and you need a description of, what happened or the accident, then you can certainly use those multi-line custom fields. Once you add in the fields, and as I said, create as many different custom fields as you want. If you think about your practice and how you can gather information in one place, think about that stuff that if you have a physical file, you're putting on sticky notes to remember, okay, what's their date of separation? Or if you're a corporate lawyer and you're gathering, what's the date of incorporation? All kinds of information that you can capture in custom fields that you're not putting on a sticky note and sticking in a file, because that's only so useful for you. The nice part of the custom field is that not only can you create the custom fields, but now you want to use them. So Clio makes it very easy to use custom fields in the fact that when you're creating a matter, so I'm going to pretend to create my matter here. When I edit my matter or create my matter, I have this custom fields area down here. When I use this custom field, I can add a single custom field or what's called a custom field set. So if I create a whole set of custom fields, like if I'm a corporate attorney and I have a bunch of custom fields that I need to add in every single time I bring on a corporate client, I can absolutely do that. I can pick that custom field set and look, here's the information. If it's 3 fields here, it can be 40 fields if you add in each of those custom fields. I can add them on an individual basis. I'm gonna delete that. Oops. I can add single fields if I want, or I can add that custom field set. Let me pop back really quick and create a custom field set, because you can see actually how easy it actually is to create. Under field sets, I can add a custom field set. So if I wanted to add in a children custom field set, and I can add in any of my custom fields that I have in here. And you get the idea, where you can add in as many different custom fields as I want into a custom field set. And as I add in fields, I save them. And now here is my set of fields that I can now go back and add to my matter. this information, you see, it's not here yet. So let's go back to my matter. Let's go down to custom fields, and let's add in our new children custom field set. And so when you are talking to your client and you are onboarding a new client, you can gather that information from your client as you are working with them. I'm going to save this. Actually, let me put in Will Turner, and he is 15. So I'm going to add in data. When I save my matter, hey, look, here is my data in my custom fields. As you add in more information, all of the data will appear not only on this dashboard of your matter, but also in your custom fields. Think about how many different pieces of information that you need to use in a matter. As I said, you can have thousands of custom fields, and firms do, because they want to really extend the use of those of Clio or any practice management system by making it more practice centric to them. So think about the use of custom fields, not only within like individual custom fields, but also custom field sets, where as you onboard a new matter, you can really extend the use of Clio. Continuing along that same path, I'm going to go hop up into Clio Grow. And as I said, Clio Grow has the is kind of the CRM, the customer relation management system that's associated with Clio. Yes, I don't have a lot of data in my Clio Grow, but if you are using Clio Manage and Clio Grow, you can use Clio Grow to keep track of your matters that have not yet become clients yet. So think about your pipeline and how you can manage the people who have yet to become clients. So Clio Grow is a great way to work with Clio Manage. You don't necessarily have to use it, but the Clio Grow and Clio Manage work together really, really well to intake clients or intake potential clients before they become clients. If you're a Clio Grow user, I want to show you how you can actually hook Clio Grow and Clio Manage together. This is probably the biggest thing that I talk about to my Clio Grow people, because it's taking all the work that you've done in Clio Manage and bringing it into Clio Grow. And that is using these custom fields again. Because if you're a divorce attorney and you need to gather that information, like children, like, those custom fields that we just talked about, that information is sitting in Clio Manage, and we need to bring it into Clio Grow. The way that these two programs work together is that you can take the data from Clio Manage and pull it into Clio Grow by going into settings and custom fields and choose this Sync Clio Manage custom fields. And what that's going to do is, and hopefully technology will be in our favor, we're going to pull in all of those custom fields that we created in Clio Manage, and we're going to pull them into Clio Grow. And what this is going to allow us to do is all of those fields that we created in Clio Manage, we can now use in Clio Grow. And we use them in Clio Grow to create intake forms that we can send out to our clients and say, tell us what tell us about the description of your accident. Tell us what the file number that you have for your speeding ticket. Tell us what the age of your second child is. And you can create forms in Clio Grow and have your client actually fill out this information for you. But we start in Clio Manage, and this information, if your client becomes engaged with you, again, Clio Grow is focused on that potential new client. But if your client becomes engaged with you, all of this information that they fill out for you then gets sucked back into Clio Manage, as that person becomes a client. When they become a client, you push the data from Clio Grow into Clio Manage, and all that information that you created or your client filled out in Clio Grow now comes into Clio Manage, and you can then use it for some of the things that we're going to talk about, including document automation. Okay, so we talked about how we can use custom fields. So, oh, and one quick thing I just wanted to point out in here. Let me go back to custom fields here for a second. One quick caveat that kind of bites some people in the butt sometimes is there are a couple different types of fields that don't sync from Clio Manage to Clio Grow. There are three types of custom fields that don't sync. So just be careful if you are syncing between the two, that don't sync between Clio Manage and Clio Grow. And that's contact select, matter select, which is right there, and time. So if you put in a custom field that has a time associated with it, when we do that sync up to Clio Grow, it is not going to sync. So those are just quick caveat there that has made some trouble with some people. So again, I recommend that just take a look at, use that text one line as opposed to the other, those three options that you run into. Okay, now we're going to talk extending Clio a little bit more and talking about calendars. I'm going to stick in settings here for a second. Settings seems to intimidate some people, but there is tons of information in here. If you are not a Clio administrator for your account, you may not see all of this stuff. But in case you don't, then talk to your Clio administrator, and then you should be able to see it. We're going to talk about calendaring right now, and one of these things that we want to talk about is this contact and calendar sync. I'm still amazed that, like I said, some people do not have the Clio calendar hooked to their email calendar. And they don't use a calendar, or they use just their Outlook calendar or their Gmail calendar. I really encourage you to extend the use of Clio and their calendar. No matter if you are a Google user, an Office 365 user, and when you do that, when you create calendar entries in Clio Manage, then they can flow to your phone, they can flow to your Outlook, as well as sync in Clio. And people are like, well, I do everything in Outlook. Well, and while that's fine, when you create calendar appointments in Clio, it also allows you to not only include the matter information in your calendar item, but also Clio has made it easy to be able to add a calendar item and then quickly turn that calendar item into a time entry. So I'll show you how that works in just a second. But back to the calendar sync, couple quick things. If you are setting up your sync between your Google Calendar or your Office 365 calendar, come in here, specify what you want to, what account you want to allow. And then it's going to come back here. And here's where it can be a bit tricky. I don't often recommend that people sync their contacts. And the reason is that if you have 1,000 contacts in Clio, then all of a sudden you have 1,000 contacts in your Outlook contacts. Some people want that, some people don't want that. Calendar is where we're focusing right now. When we choose sync, Clio by default says, oh, you want to sync to a new Google Calendar. No, you really don't want to sync to a new Google Calendar. My recommendation is that you sync to your true calendar. Whatever calendar you're using, don't sync to a new calendar, because that's just one more calendar to keep track of. Sync to your real calendar, and when you sync to your real calendar, calendar items that you create in Clio will flow to your calendar that you're using on your phone and that you're using in Outlook. don't create a new calendar. It will just cause issues later on. So that's my tip on the calendar. Make sure that you are syncing to your real calendar and not the recommended option. All right, let's talk a little bit more about calendar entries. As you add in a new calendar, hang on, let me cancel out of here. Let me go back to my Matter here. If I add a Matter, if I'm in my Matter and I add a calendar entry in my Matter, that Matter information is going to be included in my calendar entry. So if I have a conference call, we'll say at noon today, we can fill out all my information. It's great. It's hunky dory. If we have synced my calendar, my Outlook calendar to my Clio calendar, it not only appears in my Matter for a conference call, but if I go to my calendar in Clio, you'll notice that it will sync to my calendar in Clio, and it's this calendar can be seen by all of your users in Clio if you want to share your calendar amongst everyone else. The nice part is that calendar, when it syncs to Clio, will include this Matter information as well. Not only is it just a time entry, not only is it just a calendar entry about the time, but it also, when it flows through to your Outlook, then it includes your Matter information as well. So you know what Matter you're talking about at 12 o'clock today. The other thing, by using the Clio calendar, you know you're going to have a conference call at noon, so you might as well add a time entry to it as well. So know that Clio, as well as other practice management systems, really try and extend that use to quickly and easily add time entries for appointments that you've already created. So there's no reason that you can't quickly and easily add that to a time entry. You'll see that the description of our conference call then turns it into a time entry. A couple other things I want to talk about calendars in Clio, and that is something that is only available in the elite version of Clio, and that is the court rules. The court rules are only available at the elite level. So if you don't have the elite level, which is the most expensive version of Clio, there's a couple features that are available only at the elite level, and court rules is one of them. What court rules are is that it allows you to add different jurisdictions to your Clio to really extend that extend the use of Clio. And the elite plan allows you to add up to 10 different jurisdictions. I just want to show you some of the jurisdictions that are available within North Carolina. If you just start typing, oops, if I can spell, you can see all of the different courts that are available. And what this allows you to do is add calendar items to your Clio calendar that include all of the different jurisdictions within, not all of them, but a lot of the different jurisdictions within Clio. So depending on the type of practice that you have, if you are working with the North Carolina Industrial Commission, you can add in that particular jurisdiction, and then any rules that are associated with that particular jurisdiction, you can add to your calendar as well. So I'm just going to add in a couple more jurisdictions and update my court rules. So I have lots of people who talk about trying to automate calendar items. Well, this court rules does it for you within Clio. Yes, you are paying at the highest level, but it also allows you to extend the use of Clio even more. Okay, So let me see. All right, let me go back to my calendar here and show you how these court rules work. When you have the court rules enabled and added jurisdictions, you have the option to add in a new court rule. And first thing it's going to do is say, okay, so tell me what court you want that you want to use of the ones that we've added. Again, you can add up to 10. So let's choose probate here, and let's do a rule name called appointment of guardian. And let's do our pickle equipment failure here. Okay, you'll have to bear with me if, even though it's my personal injury matter and we're pulling in probate, but you guys get the idea. Okay, so let's just start typing the type of rules that may be available. And since we're in probate, in our probate jurisdiction, you can see that we can add in any type of appointments that are available. Let me just choose the appointment of a guardian. The trigger is the appointment of a guardian, and then we can choose whatever date that happens to be. By default, it's going to be put in today. As we choose next, it's going to say, oh, okay, so if you choose that appointment of a guardian, here are some additional items that are automatically going to be added to your calendar. And you can see the details here, that it says 3 months from the date that we have added in our appointment for guardian, then it's going to calendar these items for us automatically. And as we add them to our calendar, it's going to automatically not only put them on our Clio calendar, but again, then in turns, if you have it synced to 365 or to Google, it's going to add those items as well. And this is where you can say, okay, whose calendar is going to be added to, and then any additional attendees, as well as, okay, how many reminders, what kind of reminders do I need for these particular events? And you can choose what kind of reminders, if you want something that comes 3 weeks before a particular item or 5 minutes before. Once I figure out exactly what I want for all of those specific calendar items, they are then added to our calendar. Let's take a peek into the future, and let me go back to my matter here, and let me go back to my calendar here. And you can see here are my rules that were my court rules that were automatically added. Just because they were added by the court rule system doesn't necessarily mean that I can't go in and edit them and change them, but you'll know that they've been added automatically through that court rule system by this little gavel over here. So they will also appear not only on my calendar within my matter, but if I actually went all the way through to March of 2021 or in January of 2022, you would see those as well. All right, so we've talked about calendars, and that gives you a decent idea of course, you can add additional rules for every single matter, however you need additional rules. If you are in one jurisdiction or 10 jurisdictions, that's just one more way to be able to automatically add things to your calendar without you having to manage that. All right, now we're going to talk about document assembly, and this is another feature within Clio that I find is not really utilized all that much. And because document assembly can be hard, and but it's not as hard as a lot of people think it is. And the reason is that if you've ever done a word mail merge, then you'll find that functionality works in document assembly. And I'm going to pop up here and look at our templates really quick. All right. This is also one of those functions where I have clients who have hundreds of different templates that they use. So whether it is a letter of engagement or a certificate of service or a or the beginnings of a brief or anything in your firm that is used over and over and over can be made into a document template. And I know that that Aaron talked about Community Lawyer, and there are a number of different document assembly programs that work with Clio. And it is so what I'm going to show you here is really just the bare bones of what Clio offers by itself. But know that this can be extended throughout Clio by using additional programs that work with Clio. But the way document templates work is that you take a document and you put fields into it. You put template fields into it. I opened up my little engagement letter here, and here is my engagement letter. And does everybody? Sometimes when I switch screens, I just want to make sure. Does everybody see my letter? Thumbs up if somebody can do that. Great, thank you. This is my letter, and again, this is my engagement letter. This can be your certificate of service. This can be any type of document that you use. And people are like, oh well, I have to use, you know, every document that I create is different. But if you can use a document template to start with 50% of the data that you need, and then you can turn around and customize it, that is 50% of the time that you are not spending making sure that that your data is correct. I encourage you to automate as many documents as you can with whatever format that you can, because even if it saves you 15 minutes of time, that's 15 minutes of time that you are not spending combing through the document to make sure that that your data is correct. Yes, it does take time to create your documents and to create your templates and save them, but you're actually using these templates to pull data from Clio. So the way that that document templates work is that you take your document that you're going to use anyway as a go-by, and you push these fields into it. And let me show you, pop back over to Clio here for a second. If I am creating whoops, hang on a second. Sorry, got lost there for a second. Okay, I'm going to create a new document from a template. When I go to create a document, Clio has a listing, and if you click on this, learn more about document automation, there are links to each where you find each of those fields that I'm talking about down here. Each matter has these fields associated with it, including all of the custom fields that you have created. So if you think about those child custom fields that we had created to start, you can include those in any of the documents that you have created. So that's why folks have so many different custom fields, because not only can you use them to store information in Clio, but then you can use them to create documents that you're going to send out to your clients, to send out to opposing parties, to send to the court. Again, if you're creating documents and you're only using those document templates to create 80% of your documents, it's worth your time or worth your staff's time to create the documents. Yes, there are people that you can hire to create templates as well. So if that is certainly something that there's a business out there that people can help you create these documents. But I encourage you to really just to investigate these, play around with them. It takes some time, but it's absolutely worth the time. If we're going to create a document from a template, let me just show you how this works. You see my little template here. it looks kind of ugly with my fields, but now let's create my document. I'm going to select my document template. The one caveat with document templates is that you can't easily order them or put them in order. They're put in by the order that you have created them. So if you are creating tons of document templates, you may want to plan a little bit ahead of time on how you want them organized, whether it's the name of the practice area to begin with. So if you have bankruptcy new engagement letter versus divorce new engagement letter, so if you plan a little bit, then that will help later on. We're going to, let's find a matter here that we're going to assemble into. And so let's grab my little Hendricks employment matter here. And then I can create a document. What do I want the name of the document to be? Can be the Hendricks, B-R-I-X. Engagement letter, or whatever you want your engagement letter to be. And I can't spell today, so please forgive me. If you're all ready to go and rock and roll and send out your document, you can create a PDF. I do recommend that at least to start, you start off with creating a Word document, because it does give you that 80% of your document to start with. You can create your Word document, and what it's going to do, it's going to push that data into your template, and then you're going to be able to access your data from here. Your documents actually come under the document type, or the folder called Forms, just so you know. And I'm going to open up my Clio, my document from here. And, or you can, if you click on it, you can download it. Either one will work the exact same way. And let's see. Ugh. All right, let me try and let's download it instead. And what was an ugly document now comes in with data that was included in Clio, and where it's pulling in data, not only the contact information, but my salutation, if you want to put in your hourly rate, your matter information. We also had it come in down to finance charges, or whatever information that you would want to include in your data. You'll see that, okay, I didn't put a security deposit information in here, so I'd have to go back and redo it again. But you can see it's actually, I mean, a lot of the work happens at the Word level, and then you push in the fields into Clio, pull the data in from Clio into your Word document, and you're not having to retype this information. You're not having to make sure that, yes, that your address is correct and you've spelled information correctly. So know that this is a great way to be able to take the data that you're pushing in Clio, custom fields, contact information, everything, and use it again and again. Products like Community Lawyer and other document assembly tools. Check out the app integrations, and you'll see there's any number of different document automation tools. One is Documate, which actually won the Clio Launch Code contest this year. It can be a little pricey, but I've had really good luck with Documate, as well as Community Lawyer, if you want to really extend the use of the document assembly tools within Clio.
Hey, Peggy.
Yes.
We had a question. How do you actually get the initial template built?
Really, the templates are really just your documents. Let's see, let me see if I can grab, they changed where the location is of the template tools, or template, So hang on one second. The merge fields is what I'm talking about. Because it used to be under list of standard merge fields. And I can include this. I can include this as well in the notes. So you can see these are the standard merge fields, and I will. I'll add that to the chat so you have that, so you can see these are the ones that that you can include, and then there are template merge fields. Hang on a second, because this is actually, I don't think this is even in there anymore, but there is. Let me get back to you, because like I said, they moved it. It used to be underneath documents and here, but it's not here anymore. So let me let you guys know exactly where those templates are, or those fields, because like I said, Clio changes all the time. So it is easy, but I want to make sure that I give you exactly what you're, exactly the fields that you're looking for. So let me just make a quick note, and I will drop that in the chat after this session. All right, I want to talk about task management for a second. And this is, again, one of those things that not everyone uses in Clio, but it certainly allows you to extend your use of Clio. Again, you're already paying for tasks. The task management side of Clio, when you're paying your subscription, and the task management is included in here as well. Is it a glorified to-do list? It can be, but it really can take tasks to the next level. If you want to add individual tasks, you can certainly do that. But one of the more powerful pieces included in here is the task list function. What the task lists allow you to do is create tasks that are automatically added to matters as you create them. I created a task list under my for personal injury, just to give you an idea of how these can work. One quick note: if you're using task lists, my recommendation is when you order tasks in the order that they need to be in, that you use alphabetical task lists. And the reason is that as you add them into Clio, you want them to be in a particular order. So for my personal injury matter, I want to open a file in Clio. I want to create subfolders to make sure, and I have created a list of 15 tasks that happen for every single PI matter that I have. So depending on your practice area, you can, tasks that have to happen for every single case. And I don't care if you are a divorce attorney, an estate planning attorney, a bankruptcy attorney, there are things that you want to see happen for every single matter. By creating these lists, so I have 15 tasks that I know need to happen for every single PI matter that comes across my desk. When you're creating matters in Clio, and you have a personal injury matter, and I'm going to go back and edit it. Back to editing my matter, I come down to the task automation function. And what I can do is I can add in my personal injury tasks. So as I'm creating a matter, I know that those 15 tasks have to happen when I create this matter. When I do that and save this matter, and I go to tasks in my matter, here are the 15 matters that come in to my matter. So I know what needs to happen as I bring on a new matter. all of a sudden I have 15 things that I have to do starting today, or whatever day that you want that that matter to start, or that task to start. We can come in and edit those particular matters. One other thing I just wanted to point out, at the higher level of Clio, that elite version, you also have the ability to not only create tasks that are really a listing of things to do, but at the elite version, you also have contingency tasks. So you can say, after 30 days after this particular task happens, I want something else to happen. That's part of that elite package. But rather than just a listing of individual tasks that have to happen, you can say 30 days after this particular task happens, then I want something else to happen. And it really has extended the use of Clio and of the task list to really beyond a listing of things to do. And as you change dates and things that are happening within your task list, then other dates are changed as well. So that's just another way that you can turn around and use the task list in Clio, and really automate those tasks that have to happen anyway. And even if it's 5 tasks that has to happen, or that they have to be assigned to other people, then you can create those task lists and those assignments so other people can utilize that task list as well, and be assigned tasks based on how your practice works. So the task list is one of those also underused functions of Clio. And there are programs, and I mentioned this earlier, there's a program called Legal Boards. And if you're familiar with Trello and are using the task function within Clio, Legal Boards is something certainly to check out, because it's kind of like Trello, and really takes this task management side to a project management level, and where you can really use the tasks even more. Rather than having just several different statuses, you can create your own statuses and really move your tasks through the different stages of a case. So that is certainly something I would encourage you guys to check out. And I'll put the Legal Boards, it's Legal Boards IO, and I'll put that in the chat as well after my session. Okay. All right, so I want to spend just the last 10 minutes talking about Zapier, and so we've talked about Clio and how you can use Clio. Now I want to talk about Zapier, and at a base level, what Zapier is the ability to connect different applications together that don't necessarily talk together. And Zapier is a really powerful tool. And again, it's not just used with Clio, but it's used in many instances with lots of different cloud-based systems. Think about QuickBooks, and you can see when I go into Zapier, yes, you do have to create an account, and at its base level, it is free. And I mean, free is always good, and free is great when you are just playing around with it. So if you're new to Zapier, or you're just curious about Zapier, then it's not going to cost you anything to jump in and take a look. Lots of people think that it's really difficult, and it can be, depending on the type of connections that you are trying to create. However, the great thing about Zapier is that lots of people have created things for you that you can use to automate your practice. And when you go and go into Zapier, you have the ability to say, okay, what are the 2 programs that I want to connect together. And if I am going to connect two applications together, I can say, okay, let me connect Clio, for example, to Gmail or to any number of different programs that are out there. And when you do that, you can see some of the apps that people have already created for you, and then you can just turn around and use. If you're a QuickBooks person and you want to see, okay, so what QuickBooks options out there can automate with Clio, with Gmail, with whatever cloud-based programs that you are using. Zapier is that connector to connect things together. Sometimes it is a little bit of a trial and error, but I really encourage you, if you are interested in connecting two programs together that by default are not working together, that I really encourage you to play around with it, see how it works. Take a look at some of the automations that people have already created and start there. Because once you kind of get your feet wet, then you can really use this to extend and create your own connections together, because only you decide what you want to connect together. Quick caveat about Zapier, and this is probably more so related to Clio than to other programs. Clio does change, and I know some of my clients have expressed frustration with Zapier because you go through this work and you're setting things up, and then the Zap breaks, and that happens, and you would have to just come back and see what's happening, play around with it a little bit, and then redo your Zap again. But we think about Clio, we think about Google, but then, if you are a RingCentral person, if you're using, voice over IP, okay, let's see what's out there with RingCentral. Oh, I want to save my call recordings from RingCentral into Google Drive. And you can see, just by typing the type of the application that you're looking at, you can see some of the other features that other people have created and tested and used for you, and you can use them, authenticate to each of your accounts, and make it easy to be able to get started in Zapier. Okay, so let's see. Let me look at my my little test here. So I am going to connect Clio. Into Gmail. Let's see if we can. All right. So I just want to show you kind of how this works. So we're going to use this top one, create Gmail labels from new Clio matters. So what it's going to do is, if you are using Clio and Gmail together, and as you add a new matter into Clio, it's automatically going to create a new label in Gmail. A label is like a folder. So if you are the type of person who creates a client folder every time you create a new matter, this is what it allows you to do. It will automatically create a new matter and create a new label in Gmail for you. And we're going to try this. Not very hard. It's going to walk you through the process of actually creating this. It's going to say, okay, I need to authenticate to my to my Clio account. All right, well, I'm already logged into my Clio account, so I'm going to select that. Okay, here's my Clio account. I'm going to choose continue. All right, so we're going to test this. We're going to test that Clio can work with Zapier. We're going to test it. And we can see, hey, okay, we found a new matter. This is our little test. We're going to go through. Here's our little giant pickle that we just created. We're going to continue. And what it's going to do, it's going to say, all right, we're going to connect that Clio. You can see up here, new matter in Clio. We're going to create a new label in Gmail. So now, all right, if I want to create a new, here's my app. Here's the action. Again, this has all been set up for you already. If you want to do something else, there's a number of different things already programmed in here that you can do. But we're going to leave it at create a label and continue. Now I have to authenticate to my Gmail account. I'm already logged in there, and I'm going to continue. Gonna continue one more time. Everybody is all happy, and now we're gonna test it. So that's really the whole process of using an app, Zapier Zap that's already created. It's a little more difficult when you're trying to do your own. And but a label was sent to Gmail about 5 seconds ago. And then what you can do is once it works, because the test was successful, and I can show you my Gmail account, but understand it just created a new folder for me for that new matter that was created. Then I can turn the Zap on, and so every time a new matter is added, a new folder is going to be added to Gmail for me. And when I turn it on, then all this process is happening in the background for me, and I don't have to do anything. No longer do I have to create a folder in Gmail when a new matter is added for me. Zapier is taking care of that for me. Okay, that's the extent of Zapier. I know it sounds like it is it's a little bit intimidating, but I encourage you, for those of you who wanna play around with it, please do start off with the Zaps that are already created. You can create your own. You can use others that are out there, and it really can extend whatever product that you are using in the cloud, whether it is RingCentral, Vonage, Box. You think about all the programs that you may be using. Office 365, Catherine will talk about later, kind of the Zapier version called Power Automate that's included in 365. So while Zapier will connect products that are outside of maybe outside of what you're outside of 365, Power Automate will allow you to automate features within Office 365. So she will talk about that a little bit later. Okay, I think that's it, unless we have just a couple minutes for questions, and I will send that link for the listing of the fields that are included, as well as the legal board's URL.